Hello, hello. This is just a quick update in regards to the wrench, the situation with the wrench and the nuts and the bolts. Um, the wrench that I found. It's here. It's a 12-inch wrench, and uh, it's set at 33 millimeters, and it's got just a few stain marks, so it couldn't have been among them leaves for a long time. I reckon it was there 2 years. And yes, the wrench was set for 33 mils. I've never changed that. It's now in a freezer bag, obviously not frozen, but nicely tucked away in a corner somewhere. And I don't know what to do with it, basically, but maybe you have got an idea. So the metal pole in that fenced off enclosure, it's this one here. It's kept together by 22 nuts and bolts. Yes, 22. Involved are 6 10 mil nuts and bolts. They are neglectable. They are just small 10 millimeter nuts and bolts. They're all to do with the housing, the housing of the metal roller. It's this one here. I pointed out with the mouse pointer. Maybe this picture is better. Yes, this is the box here. The box for the roller, and there is 6 10 millimeter nuts and bolts involved. There's also involved 4 28 millimeter nuts and bolts. There is also involved 10 20 millimeter nuts and bolts. There is involved 1 30 millimeter nut, which is the nut that keeps the eye bolt in place for the weight carrying cable. And there is involved another nut. It's one, and it's 34 millimeter in size, and it keeps the eye bolt in place for the stabilizing cable. And you might say this wrench might have been used for either the 30 mil nut or the 34 mil nut. It's not that easy. See, in this picture here, we're dealing with a very confined space. You cannot get a 12-inch wrench in here in order to tighten or unscrew the 30 or 34 mil nut. It's a mission impossible. I'll show you how I did it. I've got this is my wrench here. I never used the one I found, obviously. I used this one. This is half the size of the wrench I found. It's a 6-inch Minotaur wrench. I use it for confined spaces, especially for behind the boiler. And I must stress, I never applied any force to these nuts, bolts. I just used this Minotaur wrench to measure the size of all the nuts and bolts, right? So, and as you see, this is a 6-inch wrench, half the size of the one I found, and I've just got a bit wiggle room. I could try, but I didn't try. I could try to open it maybe a quarter of a turn or so, but it's a pointless exercise, because with such a small wrench you haven't got the torque in order to open a rusty old nut. So, and the only way around this, in order to apply the 12-inch wrench to one of these nuts, is you have to get the metal box out, right? You have to get that metal box with the roller out, detach it from the frame, and then you can use the 12-inch wrench in order to work on these two nuts from below, from underneath, if you get my point. And the way to do it, to unscrew to get the box out, you have to take off. This is, see, we're only interested in the outside nuts and bolts. This one, this one, this one here, and this one here. They're all 20 mil nuts and bolts, and you have to unscrew that one, and then you take the whole box out, including these metal bars here, and you get it out. And the way it looks on the opposite side, these four nuts and bolts, that's what it looks on the other side. So you basically you apply a socket. You would apply a socket here, and on the other side you would apply the wrench. This is a 20 mil nut, and then you would get the box out, and then you could work on these nuts on the 30 or 34 mil nut from below. But this was never done. I'll show you why. The situation with that is the nut for the eye bolt for the stabilizing cable. You can see the thread hasn't got anywhere. It hasn't been that nut hasn't come off for donkeys. It's been put together at many years ago, and has never come off. In the other side, this is the nut. No, so that's the same one. That's the other nut here. That's the 30 mil nut. I measured it 30 mil. It's even very difficult to measure. That's the nut that keeps the eye bolt in place for the weight carrying cable. It's a 30 mil nut, or what's left of it, and you can tell that you wouldn't get it off. You could even with WD-40, you've got no chance to get this off. And then after, so they might have, we might say they might have worked on the 34 mil nut, but it doesn't show anywhere. And then after you've after you worked with that 34 mil nut, you have to put the box back in, right? And in order to do that, you would have to use the wrench, set it for 20 mils, and then the wrench would have been lost, and it would have been set for 20 mils in order to get that the roller with the box back in. You might say a different tool might have been used to get the box in and out. Yes, it's possible, but as I say, the thread doesn't show anywhere, and also look at the paint. It's been not painted, sprayed. It doesn't show any signs that it has ever come off. This is the bolt for the weight carrying cable, and this is the other one for the stabilizing cable. That doesn't show any signs that it has been removed. Same with the box. I don't think the box has come off. Where's the other one? Is it this one here? Yes, you can see these are the two nuts and bolts you have to remove on the other side as well, so it's 4 altogether, and then you can get the metal box out in order to work on the nuts for the eye bolts. It doesn't show any sign that it has ever come off. On the other side, it looks like that. It's never come off. And what else I forgot? Bear with me for a minute. Yes, that's the box that would need to be removed. So you might say a different tool might have been used to get the box in and out, and then the wrench was lost, set for 33 mils, but the threads don't show anywhere. The paint is not disturbed. Or you might say that the wrench was lost years ago when the pole was originally set up, but these things are pre-assembled in a workshop, and it would have arrived all already set up, and all they had to do is attach the pole to the concrete and use 4 20 mil bolts, because that's what they are. I was surprised. There are only 20 mil bolts that hold the whole, 4 of them, 4 20 mil bolts, and they hold the whole construction, keep it fixed to the concrete. Yes, the wrench hasn't got many stain marks, so it has not been lost that long ago. That's the situation with the. So what could the wrench have been used for? You might ask. The only option I can come up with is something like this. It's a rope grip, and you would have two nuts here to open up or tighten. Something like this. Nikki was hooked up with something, and I'm not a specialist in this field, so I can only come up with this or the other one idea, And what size of a nut are we actually looking for? The wrench has been set up for 33 mils, but we're not exactly looking for a 33 mil nut, because the way you work with a wrench, you apply it to the nut, tighten it, turn it half a turn, loosen it and get it off, and then you do the same all over again. Apply the wrench, tighten it, turn it half a turn, loosen it by a mil or so, and take it off. And it was set for 33 mils, so I reckon they worked on a nut of the size of 32 mils, maybe 30. 32 mils, 30 mils or 32 mils. That's what the wrench has been used for before it was lost. And there are no 30 or 32 mil nuts involved with this construction. So yes, there's a good chance it was used to get the gear off that they have used in order to winch Nikki across the river. So that's the situation about the wrench. I don't know what to make of it, what to do with the wrench. I mean, I could hand it in, but they say that case is closed, accidental death. What do you want? What do you want us to do with a wrench? They wouldn't examine it, so it lies around, but it's safe and secure in a freezer box. Any ideas? Let me know. And now there is movement in regards to the cables. I got an email yesterday from, I don't need this anymore here. I can close this one. And then an email I got from Kelly. She says to me, "Dear Professor, I think I may have found the reason the cables were removed. An application to turn one allotment lane into a children's home by Hexagon Care Services. The application was made to Wire Council in 24. A neighbor objection highlighted the danger of the cables. See pic below. A Freedom of Information request has been submitted by myself to the Environmental Agency. Requested approved their removal, and when. If I hear back, I will let you know." So this isn't I didn't do this. This is request. It's done by Kelly, and I'm glad people are starting to work with each other, and there is movement, and we can have a look at what Kelly sent me here. Why is this showing one? I'll leave it up for a few half a minute or so you can read it. You can email me and I'll send it across if you want. Yeah, it's basically an proposal. Change of use from dwelling class C3 to children's care home class C2. Commenter type neighbor. Customer objects to the planning application. Reasons: there is overwhelming evidence that granting permission for a children's home so close to the river Wire is an accident waiting to happen. And now I scroll further down. The river is less than a minute's walk and a risk assessment should consider. St. Michael's has a history of accidental drownings. Yes. The most recent being in 23. The riverside path is not maintained, subject to landslips, and is without life preservers or street lighting. When the river is in flood, part of the path is underwater. I've never witnessed that, but they live there, they must know. In summer, the river is a magnet for youngsters who swim whilst intoxicated. Here, alcohol ignores signs and climb onto the Environment Agency measuring cables 40 feet above the weir. So we know how high these cables were, 40 feet above the weir. Oblivious of dangerous tidal currents and submerged detritus. Children will be children. The lure of the river is unequivocal, and it's likely that they will copy others and put themselves at risk. No amount of policies, procedures, and training will mitigate this danger. The liability on staff to prevent children going down to the riverbank adds further risk. You can read it yourself, the rest now. So, yes, I'm pleased. The existence of these cables cannot be denied any longer. It's official now, right? And I got aware of the existence of these cables at the end of February this year, and from then on I have clicked on, as I showed you in a previous video. What I have noticed is that, in my opinion, the cables were removed in order to hush up a callous murder, so that no one would ever discover that they were there in the first place. Now I have noticed the narrative is now being developed that they were removed for health and safety reasons. And health and safety is always brought in when something stinks, in my opinion, right? So that's my opinion. You can have your opinion, but that's the update at the moment. I will do another. This is obviously a dry dock session. I will do another dry dock session about the timelines, the abduction timeline, and after then it's the go ahead for the video called "A Walk in the Park," where you see all these familiar faces in the field and elsewhere. And yes, and I have. I don't know if I should mention it here, but I have discovered something else, and yes, it will not be in a walk of the park video, but in a later video. I think I will call it "Riders on the Storm," and in this video I will show you what else I have discovered, and it's a bit of a knockout blow. It could explain why the people in St. Michael's are behaving like they're frightened, they're scared, in my opinion, and I think I do now know why. And this finding I've made, you can figure it once you see the place. Then you can figure it all out yourself and add one and one together, and make up your own mind and paint your own picture. So that's it for now, my friends. I will prepare the next dry dock session about the timelines I've explained. And yes, I shall see you soon. Thank you.